All right, all right, all right. So, man, I've been hearing some rumors coming out of actually in your division, the 49ers, Brandon Ayuk trade drama. So, Brandon Ayuk, I don't know why these dudes do this. Like, I mean, what's the big deal? I mean, you unfollowing your team. So he unfollowed the 49ers, I guess, going through whatever. He's been going through this for a couple of years, I think now, maybe like 2 years. They hadn't been wanting to pay him. So now Debo is gone. He's in Washington, and Brandon Ayuk, they say, can be a number one receiver on any other team, but the 49ers are not choosing to pay him. So he unfollowed them on his social media. Go ahead. What you saying, Lee?
Wait, let's correct it. They already paid him.
They already paid him.
Yeah, they paid him last season. That's what the whole fiasco was about last offseason,
I got you. I got
right?
you.
So
So,
they did pay him already.
so what's the drama then?
He don't want to be there. He didn't want to be there in the beginning. So you know where he wanted to go.
Where?
Last season he was trying, he trying to pull out all the stops to get to the Commanders because Jaden Daniels was his college quarterback. So him and Jaden Daniels, they had a connection, they have a friendship, right? Or a good rapport. And they was talking all last season, all off season,
Yeah.
the last off season.
Yeah.
And that was his targeted, spot where he wanted to be traded. And so I mean, look, I don't like this team.
Yeah. I know you. I know you. I know.
I don't like the 49ers, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But there's something to say about Debo Samuels. He went kind of through the same thing.
Yeah.
Now you have Aiyuk.
Yeah.
You have these guys and they, of a certain persuasion, they don't feel comfortable, I think, in that environment slash team. I'm just speculating, right?
Interesting. Yeah.
But there's and Doc, I think you have a little bit of context here in terms of what that environment over there is like outside of football, right? Talking about, the city and,
Yeah.
all of the nuance there, right? But that being said, with Ayuk, I think he just feels as if, for whatever reason, that the team doesn't, it just doesn't suit him, doesn't fit him. I don't know if it's the scheme. I don't know if it's the coaching. I don't know, again, if it's the environment, but it's something to be said to, the fact that he did get paid and this is still coming up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When Debo was going through his thing, it was more so on the money side.
Right.
And he was adamant about not wanting to come back. But John Lynch and that group, they're like, no, we're not going to get rid of him.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, let me ask you guys, and Doc, you could put your context in on this from the San Fran City kind of vibe. But is he a number one receiver? Would you put Brandon Ayuk on a team and say, okay, you are my number one?
No, but the Vikings, I'm not sure he's a number two with the Vikings. I'm lucky. I'm lucky to have a team where you can say that, right? But
Right.
I'm
Right.
just
I
right. So
I wouldn't put him I wouldn't put him over Devontae Adams or Puka Nacua with the Rams.
Dang.
He's a good receiver though.
Yeah, no, he's a good receiver.
He's a good receiver. You put him with the Browns, he's a number one. You put him with the Steelers, he's a number one. You put him with the now Seattle Seahawks, he's a number one. He can be a number one somewhere.
So okay, who would you put him on the same level as? You got the tier of receivers. Which level is he on?
He's I would put him. Wow, that's a good question. When he's healthy and he's really like playing to his potential, to his level, I would put him at the bottom half of maybe the top 10. Maybe he's like right at the cusp getting into the top 10. Comfortably top 15 in the league. Which you got a lot of wide receivers.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's I mean
yeah,
that's saying something.
yeah.
Being at that level is still that's pretty good. To
I'd
Doc,
probably
what
put
you
him.
saying?
Then I'd probably put him 15 to 20. In that range. I mean, which means he's a number one on a few teams in the league, right? But he's getting paid like he's about to start getting paid with a contract extension like 30 mil a year. It's like a 4 year 20 mil, 120 mil deal. He getting paid like he top five.
Yeah,
And that's
And
part
I
of the
think
problem.
this whole thing really is really just coming up because he got hurt. And they had the standoff. San Francisco was able to retain him, and he gets hurt that same season. So they kind of lost out on that. As opposed to the whole Debo Samuels thing when they didn't want to let him go. They paid him. He still played. He didn't get hurt. And now at the tail end of his career, they're like, okay, your
Yeah,
value
time to go.
has diminished, so we'll let you go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I still think with Debo Samuel they are going to miss him, and I want you guys Rams. I'm talking about the Rams here. I want y'all to abuse them. I want y'all to abuse them. Seriously, I don't like them. I don't like them. You know what? I was watching what was I watching? I was watching Quarterback on Netflix.
Yeah.
It just hurt me to the core when I saw San Fran and when they beat the Eagles and we was 10-0 and that year when we collapsed, and man, I was just looking at them just gloating. I was like, oh yeah, man, we went in there, we just spanked them and this, and boy, I couldn't stand it. We won the Super Bowl and I'm still mad off of that loss.
Yep.
And I want to see, I wish we could see them again. I need y'all to beat them down when y'all play them. But I don't like the 49ers. I really don't.
Yeah. I have a deep hatred for that team.
Yeah.
I don't hate many things. I really don't. I don't hate many things. And it has nothing to do with the players. It's just the team. I just don't like the team.
Team overall.
Yeah, yeah. I don't like the team.
So since you've been a Rams fan, you have disliked them from the beginning, even with Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, all these guys.
So because I became a fan, see now you bringing up some really bad memories.
You shouldn't have gone there. You shouldn't have gone there.
At the time when I was a kid and I became a fan, you have to understand that was the very late 80s, right? Like 89, right? Then you go into all of the 90s going into 2000. During that period of time, we had not beaten the team. We lost 17 consecutive games against them. Watching that and seeing that every year, because we're playing two games a year, right? Every year in, year out, we losing to them. And then the one season, I think this was like in 95, where it looked like the Rams were starting to turn a corner. I think we had won like our first 3 or 4 games. Then we had to play them, and then they blew us out. And that's when when they were gloating, saying same old sorry ass Rams. Right. And so that just solidified the hatred. After that, it was done.
Yeah.
Done. So when we beat them in the NFC Championship a couple of years back to go to the Super Bowl and ultimately win it against the Bengals, that was probably, that game to me was more satisfying than actually winning the Super Bowl.
Winning the Super Bowl, yeah.
Yeah. To beat them, because they were coming into SoFi talking about, oh yeah, we're going to turn this into Little Levi Stadium. So they bring in all their fans come traveling to the stadium, and Debo Samuels, he was gloating like it was a foregone conclusion. They were going to win.
Yeah.
To see that man crying on the sidelines and OBJ having to console him, that was great.
Yeah.
That was great. That was awesome.
Yeah. I get it now. I get it. I feel you. Doc, what you got?
No, man. We about Brandon Aiyuk, right? We gonna find out this year, because now the quarterback getting paid. Now Brandon Aiyuk's get paid, right, from last season. So ain't Debo Samuel ain't around no more. I know they got a second year receiver, but like Pearsall, I think, or right. But
yeah, Pearsall.
Yeah.
Right. But Aiyuk's supposed to be the number one now, so we gonna see how he does being the number one guy and having the best cornerback covering him. Right. So
what I find interesting though is that Aiyuk, from when they first drafted him, he showed flashes his rookie season, right? And this doesn't get talked about a lot, but his second season, he was actually in Kyle Shanahan's doghouse. And they benched him, or they limited his plays for a couple of games. And I think it was because of him not really buying into the scheme at that time and missing some assignments. And then it seemed like he turned a corner and he got back on track. And then you had last year the whole contract thing come up.
Yeah.
And I think his true feelings came up like, look, I just don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Right. So I think, again, for this to come up again,
Yeah.
there's definitely, and I love it. There's some, some contention going on behind closed doors in that locker room. And I hope it completely dismantles them, obliterates them, keeps them discombobulated, whatever it is, so that they don't win no games. Right. My I have three favorite Super Bowls, right?
Yeah.
The two that we won, right? And
Yeah.
that one that they lost against the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, that felt like the Rams won the Super Bowl that year. And that was one of the most enjoyable Super Bowls, I think. It almost beat us winning.
Right. Right.
Almost beat us winning.
Man.
Oh man. Yeah. You know what? Doc, you got a good point there though. Man. With Brandon Aiyuk being number one, he's gonna get that coverage. He's gonna get that lockdown corner. And I always thought he was a good complimentary guy. You know, he come in. You know, people spying on Debo. They trying to stop him. And I saw him as a nice complimentary where he's not getting that coverage. If he could get a one-on-one or something like that where he could get open, Shanahan work it where he getting open, and that's what I see now. You're right. We will see, how the tide turn for him. But like you say, I don't wish them any luck at all.
One other thing, Lee hinted at this, right? There's something going on with the way players are treated in that organization, because there's been a lot of folks that are disgruntled in that organization, right? Like when you think back to the whole Devondre Campbell thing where your boy was like, I ain't even coming back into the game because y'all did me dirty. I played the whole season. And then when Greenlaw is healthy to play, y'all just sit me. You ain't working back in, you just sit me and put him in. And then when he get hurt, y'all want to put me back in the game. Now I'm good, right?
Right.
So,
right.
But there's all these sort of grumblings, and we just attribute it to players wanting more money. But then you kind of hear this like, he got money, why he's still salty, right?
Right.
And it's like there's something going on where, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's the head coach, the GM, the way ownership, I don't know what it is, but there's something about it where folks don't seem content to happy in the organization, and then some folks are just willing to say it or show it in various ways.
And that's a good point, because all jokes aside, right? Just really looking at Kyle Shanahan here, great offensive-minded coach, puts together some of the most sophisticated, successful schemes, right, in the NFL. But I have to worry. I think I'm concerned more so about his people management skills. Because you look at that whole Coleman, the linebacker that you were just talking about, and yeah, when you look at it just from the outside looking in, it didn't make any sense. He came in, he was, I think, on a 1-year contract, and he was really busting his tail to
Second
prove
on the
himself.
team in tackles at that time.
Right,
He was second on the team in tackles.
And this with Fred Warner and all these other guys, and he's right there with them.
Right.
And for him to invest that time and effort and to get casted aside with a guy that had an Achilles injury, even though you're bringing him back, when you come back from those types of injuries, you're still not going to be operating at 100%.
Right.
That injury takes like a year and a half, not just a year. And he was coming back in less than a year's time. And so I think from him, and rightfully so, for him to see that and to get cast aside. Now, I'm not advocating for the way he went about it. That's not the right way to handle things as a professional. But it shows there's got to be some sort of disconnect from a communication standpoint, because obviously he was not expecting that to happen.
Yeah.
This isn't like he's a rookie or a second or third year. He's been in the league, and he's not had there's not been any signs of this type of behavior from him before.
Right.
So the signs that he showed was as if somebody who has been, like like you've been cheated on, right? Like somehow his trust has been abused.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, for him to do that, it kind of shows that, again, from a communication standpoint, that there's something lacking, that there's something missing. And when you look at it now, Greenlaw isn't even on the team anymore,
No.
right?
Yeah.
Greenlaw,
Yeah.
he's with the
Yeah.
Broncos. So why did you even do that?
Yeah. Don't make any sense.
It did not make any sense. It was, I think that lacked some sound judgment there. That lacked good judgment.
Yeah, that brings up definitely brings up a good point on what y'all saying, how they handle things there in San Fran. It must be is something they will bring it out, because didn't the quarterback recently have like some kind of some, they didn't want to pay him. I mean, they did pay him, right, their quarterback, but I
Yeah,
was
they did.
thinking they did not. I thought I heard something at one point where they were kind of like not really wanting to pay him per se, or he was kind of, it was some tension there.
No, I don't think there was any tension. I think it was a matter of, is he worth like top five quarterback money?
Yeah, yeah,
And you had to kind of go through through those conversations, because a lot of experts don't think that he is. You look at his skill sets, you look at how he benefits from the scheme, from the players that centered around him. Because now when you give him that money,
right.
you got to take away some of the pieces. You can't pay
Yeah,
every.
that's right. You can't.
Can he carry the team?
Yeah,
Right.
that's
So if you can't carry the team, then you shouldn't be getting paid Josh Allen type money.
that's a good point. That's
You
a good
see?
point.
So I
Yeah,
think those were the type of conversations that he was having. And I think Purdy is he's
Janice.
self I think he's definitely self-aware,
yeah,
which is why they were able to come to terms with
Yeah.
the pay structure that they gave him.
yeah, yeah. So speaking of quarterbacks, let's switch gears to Jordan Love. And saying and talking about top five and whatnot. I know the Green Bay Packers, and Doc, this is right up your alley. This is right up your alley. So so I want you to talk about this. Is Jordan Love, is he a top tier quarterback? I mean, because okay, he's had some good seasons. I mean, he's been all right, and he waited, for old Aaron Rodgers. He waited, and he did his thing and came in. But is he truly a number one? I mean, truly a top tier. Let's go back to that top five conversation. Does he belong in there? Top 10? Let me say. Let's go top 10. Does he really belong there?
Let me start, because this dude in my division, and I don't like the green or the yellow. So when it comes to Jordan Love, right? Like the less I hope they think he's a franchise quarterback, and I hope he's not. So that's going to keep them in that purgatory of good enough they don't tank, good enough that they keep it, but good enough that they don't win. They don't. I think he's a really good quarterback. I'd put him, if I put him top 10, he's like 9 or 10. He's not top 5, right? I think he does a good job carrying that offense, but I don't think he's the guy to be like, hey, go win us 13 out of 17 games and then go win us 3 or 4 games in a row, most of them being on the road in the playoffs come January, February, right? Now, I think with a team that went from Favre to Rodgers down to this third guy, where most of the teams would probably have a bum as the third guy, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put him, at least from what we've seen so far, the 2 years he's been playing, I don't put him on the same level as those two guys. So
Yeah.
right, I hope, I want to see what McCarthy does with us. I think McCarthy probably has a better ceiling than Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love's floor has actually been pretty decent, but but he doesn't strike, at least knocking on wood, he doesn't strike fear into my heart
Yeah.
like the other quarterback used to. I'll put it to
Okay.
you that.
All right.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
that's a good point.
I
You
was
putting
very
a
happy
lot of
when the other guy left. So, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You putting a lot of pressure on JJ, man. You really putting a lot of pressure on JJ.
Yeah.
You gotta, because I don't want this season. I know I want this season to be good for y'all. With JJ coming in there, But I think you're putting a little bit too much pressure on him, man. Because I temper those expectations. You know,
Hey,
temper those expectations.
hey, we don't have a ring yet, so my expectations are always tempered. All right, all right. But I am hoping that past performance is not indicative of future returns. That
I
being
got
said, I think the dude's got potential. Talking about JJ McCarthy, the guy's got potential. He's got weapons already on the offense at the skill positions. The line's getting better. We've got a creative defensive coordinator. So even though he's going to come in and has to do more than bus drive, he doesn't have to win us games. He has to help direct us to games, to win games,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
he is an important cog in a wheel, but there's a lot of talent around him, so he doesn't have to shoulder that burden all by himself.
yeah. Okay, all right, Lee, what you got, man?
I think it's too early to really assess how good or great Jordan Love can be. We know he's not a scrub. We know that for a fact.
Yeah,
The guy, he can ball. He can
yeah,
play. He
yeah,
showed that. He has talent. He has a live arm. He can throw off platform, which is, I think, now one of the top criteria a quarterback needs in today's NFL, because of all of these great pass rushers that are just manifesting year in year out. So I think he has a very high ceiling because of his delivery, his long ball accuracy. Um, I think it's really just now about him staying healthy.
yeah,
If he can stay healthy,
yeah.
then I think eventually he can push to be a top five. Is he there now? No. Is he even in the top 10? I think that's a stretch. But I think the sky's the limit for him.
Yeah.
Again, because of his intangibles. The guy just, not a lot of quarterbacks in the league can throw the ball the way that he does in the situations that, especially when they're being, moved and pushed out of the pocket.
Yeah, yeah. Doc, y'all make some good points. But Doc, I'm coming back to you real quick. I know you said he does not strike the fear into you like the other two guys. I got you on that. We played Green Bay twice last year, the first game of the season, and then we played them first game of the playoffs. And I will have to say, you know, other than the Rams, in this last playoffs, Jordan Love really was scaring me, man. Jordan Love, I mean, because he was moving the ball, and he was, in the if you remember back to the first game of the season, he got hurt in the last drive. He got hurt, and they could have easily won that game, and that was the first game of the season. And then when you come to the playoffs, they was in it for a little bit, and so Jordan Love kind of, yeah, I was kind of little like on the edge of my seat a little bit with Jordan Love. What I see with Jordan Love, however, which is why he gives me a little fear. He makes mistakes right now. Right now, he is very good, and he could get you there. He can move that ball, but he is going to make two or three big mistakes, and that's going to cost the game. That's what I've seen with him in the two games that we've played them, what he has done. And so I knew we were going to beat them, but I was like, this is going to be too close for comfort. And Jordan Love is going to make some sort of mistake, which he did in the playoff game. He made a couple mistakes down at the end, coming towards the end, which gave us the game. So that's what I see with him, the streakiness. I mean, I know y'all face him twice a year all the time, but boy, hey, I think he's gonna be somebody like Lee said. If he could correct those things coming on down, another year or two, he's gonna be dangerous.
Yeah, he's one of those quarterbacks where it doesn't matter where he is on the field, like where they're lined up. If they could be on their own 20, they're on 10, you feel like he could score. His deep throws, he can make a play at any moment to open the game up. And they put in a lot of fast receivers
Oh yeah,
on that
yeah,
squad. Like they're surrounding him with with guys that can go the distance. The problem, and people don't talk about this, if we're really assessing Jordan Love here, you have to also take into consideration that the Green Bay Packers receivers, they dropped more balls than any other team last season.
Yeah.
Those guys, which is why they drafted the kid from Texas, Gold.
Cool. Yeah.
Right? If their receivers were capable, because they're all young, why would they spend another first round pick on a receiver?
Right.
Those guys they had the highest rate of drop passes last season. So, yeah. Yep.
All
All right.
I know is the 2 years that Jordan Love has been starting for Green Bay, he is 1-3 against the Minnesota Vikings, and he went 0-2 last year. So when I say I don't have that fear that I used to have for other quarterbacks, it's not that I don't think he's talented. It's not that I don't think if he learns to correct the mistakes that were pointed out and receivers start catching balls, we in trouble. It's just so far we've been winning more often than we haven't than losing against Jordan Love. So
Well, that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
so
Yeah. That
I hope
makes
it
sense.
continues. I hope he doesn't
That's fair.
correct anything and everything continues on.
Yeah. Favre and Rodgers, they caused a lot of trauma in that NFC North.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a lot
For
of
a
trauma,
lot of years.
Yeah.
Yep.
especially for that other team up north.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. All right. Top 5 running backs in the league. All right. So when you look at top 5 running backs in the league, I'm just gonna I know right now I'm just gonna name 2. All right. I put number 1 Saquon Barkley. I mean, that's just me. Yeah, number 1 gotta be Saquon Barkley because he's been in the Giants purgatory for years. Comes to the Eagles, got this line, got everything working for him. 2,000 yards, all Pro Bowl, everything. He could have broke the record, but that remains to be seen.
It ain't remain to be seen. He didn't do it.
He didn't do it.
Didn't do it.
He didn't do it, but he could have. He could have. So, all right. So check this out.
Could have got hurt too. But anyway,
Which I don't even want to talk about. I don't even want to talk about. That's why I know. Like a lot of people were saying, you got Saquon, then you got Derrick Henry, right? Who is right there. Who would y'all put third, fourth, fifth? If y'all even putting them two at 1, 2, who would y'all put third, fourth, fifth in that rotation? I mean, top 5 running back.
top 5 running backs, man.
Tough.
I think I would want to put Jahmyr Gibbs up there.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Is he healthy? Like Jonathan Taylor?
If healthy.
Right? I think
I didn't.
I would want to put him in there.
Yeah. If healthy.
And who would be my 5th?
Josh Jacobs.
Top 5? Now he had top 5 numbers, right? I think he had top 5 numbers, right?
My 5 would be Christian McCaffrey, but if healthy.
If healthy, okay.
Same with Jonathan Taylor, right? Like when healthy, they're top 5. The problem
The
is
reason why I wouldn't put McCaffrey in there, I think at this point is age, right? I don't
Gotcha.
know, like, because we're talking about going into 2025.
Yeah, going into 2020.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd put him in there. I'll say someone's name. No one, he's so underrated. Chuba Hubbard for the Panthers.
I'd put
I'd put him
That's
in
interesting. I didn't
Okay.
even have him on this list.
there. I'd put him in
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
I didn't even have him on this list.
I'd put him in there. Yeah.
Let me tell you who I had on this list real quick. Let me go down a couple running backs. Okay, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs. I had Bijan Robinson. I had Jamar Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, James Conner, Aaron Jones, your boy Kyron Williams,
Kyron Williams, top 10. Yeah.
Joe Mixon,
Yeah.
Not
go
top
ahead.
5, top 10.
Joe Mixon.
Okay.
Then I have Chuba in there. Then I got who is my and I had Christian McCaffrey in there. But there's a couple other guys that I don't know if they that far up. You got David Montgomery. I had Nick Chubb. I don't even know if he's gonna be back, healthy again. But yeah, it's kind of a drop off, after when you get to like 5, 6, it kind of drops off.
It does. It does. I like Bijan. I think I shouldn't have skipped him. I shouldn't have skipped him. He's super young, and he did perform even though they didn't have a lot going on last season.
Right, yeah.
But I like the heart that Chuba showed last season with a team that was ailing,
Hmm.
all of the turmoil, with the quarterback situation, and then that getting kind of right again,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
him being really the only constant on that team and
yeah,
still performing week in and week out.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I definitely could give him that. Yeah, I could give him that. I could give him that for sure. What do you think about Alvin Kamara? Too old. What you think?
yeah, I think
There's an
he's not
injury.
he's at a little bit at that on top of that hill, about to go
Yeah,
down.
yeah, yeah,
Love his game. If this was like 3, 4 years ago, he would definitely
Yeah.
be in that list. Yeah. But going into 2025, I wouldn't have him as my top five.
yeah. I got you, Doc. Who y'all running back? Who's your number one?
Aaron Jones.
Yes, Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones. Okay.
Who you mentioned in the
Now
top 10. I just want to. I
I
just want to.
did. Yes, 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 yes. So Aaron Jones, he was in Green Bay, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
Hmm.
how
I
you
forgive
feel
him.
about that?
I forgive him. No, I mean he's been a good, reliable back for us to complement that receiving core, right? So like, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean
I was
he's
about to say something and firmly putting my foot in my mouth. I was gonna say, ain't no way the Rams would pick up no 49er, right? And put them on the team. And then I remember who our backup quarterback is.
There you go.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Nice,
yeah.
nice. Hey,
Never thought that would
back up
happen.
at least. Back up at least. He is
But
starting.
still, he just
Uh,
one errant,
one play away.
one
Yeah,
injury away from. Oh,
yeah,
I can't even
yeah. I
imagine
got
that.
you. I
Yeah,
got you.
Yeah.
I got
yeah,
you.
yeah. That's disgusting, man. I know when the Eagles in that Chip Kelly era
Yeah.
had brought in who was it? It was Dallas running back at the time. Oh my gosh, he had a really good one season.
I know who you're talking about too.
DeMarco Murray. DeMarco.
Marco
DeMarco
Murray.
Murray.
That's it.
Oh my
That's it.
gosh,
That's it. Yeah.
that was like so
Yeah.
disgusting to see. Man, I didn't even want to watch the Eagles. It was just it was horrible. It was horrible. And so yeah, I know the feeling, Lee. I definitely know the feeling. Don't
Yeah.
even want them. I was fine with Saquon coming from the Giants. I was fine with
You
Saquon
know
because
that that,
I
that
was
was
scared of him
yeah.
anyway. Yeah. So
Speaking of Chip Kelly, he got a rookie running back who may do pretty well this year
Mm-hmm.
with Ashton Janty. So that's the question:
Yep.
is where is he going to be? I wouldn't put him top 5 starting off, but
Yep.
top
Philly
I
10.
fans, they love Chip Kelly. Love Chip Kelly.
they could have him. They could have him. Have him. Take him.
What your boy
He's the
say?
OC. It's different when he's the
Shady
OC.
say.
It's different when he's the
Shady
OC.
say. Huh?
I said it's different when he's the OC. When he's the head coach, it's a
It
whole
is
other
different.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I was
talk
gonna
about
say
Shady
Shady
McCoy.
McCoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, don't ever let him catch Chip Kelly in the dark alley. Don't ever.
I hope Shady called me when he get him in that dark alley.
Nice.
'Cause me and Shady gonna go to town on him, man.
Yeah,
That dude,
he did y'all dirty, man. Like
man,
that,
dismantled the whole
he
thing, man.
dismantled that entire team.
Dismantled the whole
And
thing.
that was a championship level team.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, just dismantled the whole thing. That was, boy, oh boy. Yeah, no good old Chip Kelly. We'll see, man. Ashton Genty, like I said previously, there's going to be a running back in this rookie class
Hmm.
that is going to shock you. I don't know. I just got a feeling. I think somebody's gonna jump up there.
The guy for the Broncos, I think he could definitely surprise because I think Sean Payton is going to devise an offensive scheme
Yeah,
around him.
yeah.
I can't remember his name, but I've heard really good things about him. And then I think there's a rookie running back with the Chargers. I would say those two could surprise.
Okay. All right. I think in the next one, we could look at rookie running backs, and I want to look at some rookies. I want to look at some rookies and talk about some rookies in our next one. Doc, I definitely want you to jump back on with us, in
Yeah,
that
man.
conversation. I want to talk about some rookies and what they what they're going to be bringing this year. From a receiver standpoint, running backs, defenders. I want to break that down a little bit and see what some of these rookies going to.
Nice. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, yeah, I got to jump, man. I got to jump.
All
So, you fellas, y'all could continue on.
No, we could cut it. We could cut
Okay.
it. We'll just save it for next time. We can get into the rookies.
Yeah.
We could do running backs and receivers.
Okay. All right then.
All right.
All right,
Sounds
man.
good.
Catch
All right.
y'all next side.
All right. See y'all
Take
on
care.
later.